On your mark, get set, go. A marathon may be completed the day of the race, but it's the months of training beforehand, consistently hitting the pavement day after day, that builds the endurance to complete the race. Most people could not complete 26.2 miles by foot without any training, but with training, most people who could run a mile could complete the distance. Consistency is the secret to results. It's learning to love the journey. It's learning to love and trust the process. C.S. Lewis, the author of The Chronicles of Narnia and Mere Christianity, one of my favorite authors, talks about this. And he says something along the lines of, even when your heart is not in it, doing the activities that you know you ought to, it will kindle the love of that thing in your heart. Being consistent in how we show up to work is a key part of being a professional. As you mature in the workplace, showing up consistently with the right attitude and effort is the mark of a real professional, as opposed to someone who's just here for a job or only works when the moons align. Being consistent in our effort is how we improve. Being consistent is not perfection, but it's getting back into the process when we drop the ball. Being consistent is trusting the process. A few years ago, I read Nelson Mandela's autobiography, A Long Walk to Freedom. The title so succinctly covers how Mandela and his allies fought for freedom in South Africa. Success was not achieved with one brilliant act or even a few brilliant acts, but consistent work over a long period of time. Our world loves shortcuts, ways to get around doing the hard work of being consistent. We live in a microwave culture where consistency is more like smoking a brisket. It's low and slow. Low and slow heat produces the best barbecue. Consistency is also not generally difficult, but it is hard. What do I mean? It's not hard to do many of the things we have to do to win, and not technically difficult, but it is hard for humans to show up day after day to bring effort to the table. It may not be technically difficult to run a mile. You lace up your shoes, you put one foot in front of the other for 5,280 feet, but it might be hard at first. It might take lots of hard practice to get up to that distance, but the task is not technically difficult. But it is hard because most humans struggle with consistency. Nick Saban, the famous football coach, said, "Outcomes are a distraction." And I think this is a statement about consistency. Because you win one day doesn't mean that you can replicate it every time. There can be so many factors that go into winning, including luck. But the process, the slow drip of consistency, will create an environment for success beyond that momentary victory, which is why Saban was able to win so many titles in such a short span of time. So how can you apply this? First, ask yourself, what is consistency going to build for you? If you were consistent every day for the next year or longer or a shorter period of time on the same goal, how would you change? What if you just taught yourself that some of your limits are self-imposed? What are you willing to give up to be consistent, understanding what it will do for you? Being consistent with one thing might cost you somewhere else. You might have less time for binging Netflix, or you might have to go to bed earlier, or you might have to rethink your budget. Setting a goal of consistency, depending on what it is, starts with a time and an interval. That might be 10,000 steps a day or completing 5 Duolingo lessons per week, and giving grace to yourself when you fail and getting back on the train as soon as possible is consistency. It doesn't mean throwing it away. This doesn't have to align with a new year, but it could be any timeline. It could be 1 month or 1 week or 1 year or 5 years. Next thing up is to set up scaffolding. Scaffolding is the psychological term that talks about what systems and tools that we need around ourselves to help us be successful. Much like a painter or an electrician needs scaffolding to get to the top of the building, scaffolding are things that make being consistent easier. For example, one common thing is if you're trying to eat less junk food, don't have junk food in reach. If you're trying to look at your phone less, maybe you need to think about the apps that are on your phone, or use a tool like I do, and it's a brick, and it locks out things on your phone. Maybe you need to set out your workout clothes the night before, or go work out with a friend to make it more attractive to do mentally. I have a friend who has a particular TV show that he only watches when he's working out, which helps him to stay motivated and get in the gym. I love scaffolding. And for me, setting reminders on my phone is one of the main ways I do that, and I only mark things off after I've completed them. I have reminders for all sorts of things that would seem odd to people, but it's scaffolding to help me be consistent. Considering things to be consistent it's not just work or not just fitness. It could be anything. It could be reaching out to friends every week. It could be calling your parents once a month. It could be any number of things. It could be reading your Bible in the morning. It could be filling out that expense report that you've been avoiding doing when you're supposed to do it every time. So think about, what should you do to be more consistent? And what would it look like if you pushed yourself to be more consistent? Think about a year from now, if you started doing even one small behavior, like walking a mile a day, what would that do with compound interest over time? And now this gets dangerously close to New Year's resolutions, and I'm famously not a fan of New Year's resolutions. But most people are inconsistent with resolutions, and that's where they fail. Are there small things that you can change and add to your routine that will help you to become more of who you want to be? Every day, we are being built into the people that we are going to be, and we're either adding good bricks or bad bricks to that building. Consistency can help us add more good bricks to that building. That's what we're trying to emphasize when we say that this year's theme is built by consistency.